Remember her? A quiet assassin of Chinese table tennis, once ranked world number 1, World Cup champion, Asian Cup champion, Asian champion, World Championships finalist, the girl who crushed giants while still in her early 20s. Zhu Yuling. She's back. And she's not here to play games. At just 20 years old, she was already making world tremble. With lightning fast speed and pinpoint accuracy, she steamrolled through the top players, even her own teammates. In 2015, she destroyed reigning world champion Ning 4-0 at China Open. Then she turned around and beat former world number 1 Shiwen at Japan Open like it was just another training session. And let me just remind you, Ning and Shiwen weren't just anyone. They were in their absolute prime, two of the most dominant forces women's table tennis has ever seen. But that year, Zhu Yuling was simply untouchable. Everyone thought, this is it, the future queen has arrived. But then, life had other plans. In 2020, she was deep in the race for the spot in Tokyo Olympics singles lineup. Ning and Shiwen both pulled out of the qualifiers. The path was clear. Zhu had a real shot. Then out of nowhere, her form collapsed. She couldn't move like she used to, couldn't play at her level. The timing couldn't have been worse. It wasn't until later we learned why. Zhu had developed a benign tumor, one that weakened her immune system and left her physically drained. She pushed through as long as she could, but eventually she had to stop. She underwent surgery, and just like that, she stepped away from the sports. But she didn't vanish. Instead of fading into obscurity, she did something rare in the world of elite athletes. She rebuilt her life. She pursued a doctorate in business administration at the University of Electronic Science and Technology of China. And in 2024, 4 years after leaving the sports, she returned. Not as a full-time pro, but as a part-time player with a full-time job as a lecturer at Tianjin University. Oh, and she wasn't representing Team China anymore. She was now playing for Macau. Her return began at WTT Champions Macau 2024, where she got in thanks to a host wildcard. Most people thought it would be symbolic, maybe nostalgic. After all, she hadn't trained properly in years. But Zhu Yuling doesn't do symbolic. In her very first WTT match back, she wept Natalia Bagor 3-0. And then came Wang Manyu, a top Chinese player and old rival. Zhu gave it everything. But let's be real, she can't keep up. Years away from pro-level training, less recovery, a new day job, it's a miracle she even made it competitive. And still, she wasn't done. She entered the WTT Feeder Series next. And at the Feeder Cagliari 2024, she won the whole thing. She took down top seed Sakura Yukoi in 5 sets, proving this comeback wasn't just a lucky break. And then comes Singapore Smash 2025, a serious event. People were watching. Zhu shocked the world. She wept Du Hui Kim, crushed Miu Hirano, and demolished Japanese prodigy Satsuki Odo, all in straight games. This was domination, not nostalgia. This was Zhu Yuling 2.0. She eventually fell to Kuai, another Chinese ace. In the quarterfinal, it was clear Zhu still had it. At WTT Champions in Chan, she kept her momentum. She defeated Hina Hayata, Japanese top-ranked star, and then looked down Odo again. This time coming back from 2-0 down to win 4-2. That's heart. That's experience. That's world-class grit. In the semis, she ran into Wang Yidi, another Chinese powerhouse, and lost. But let's not ignore the stat. Her record against non-Chinese players since her comeback? Still perfect. Undefeated. Then came Taiwan. She beat Chen Tianyi, squeaked past Yukoi again, and destroyed rising Chinese star Chen Yi. It took Honoka Hashimoto, a defensive wall from Japan, to finally stop her, and that was her first loss to a non-Chinese opponent since return. But even with that, the message was clear. Zhu Yuling, even as a part-time 30-year-old, was still elite. But then you start wondering, if she's this good, why isn't she on the biggest stage, the Olympics, the World Cup, the World Championship? Well, here's the catch. Macau isn't recognized by the International Olympics Committee, so no Olympics. Okay, fine. But what about the World Cup or World Championship? That's where it gets complicated. There's a rule, the ITTF neutralization rule, introduced in 2008. If a player switches national associations after age 21, they must wait 9 years before competing for their new country in major ITTF events. The reason? To stop countries from importing elite Chinese players to instantly boost their teams. It was a real problem. Singapore famously brought in top Chinese players through their foreign talent scheme, and suddenly they were a global threat. So ITTF cracked down. A 9-year rule means any player who switches alliance later in their career is effectively shut out of a major competition for the rest of their prime. Zhu switched to Macau at 29. That means she'll be eligible again at 38. Yes, 38. And while there's technically no age limit, Nixia Lian competed into her 60s. Chinese style play is different. It's fast, explosive, high impact. Nobody has kept it up past 36, not even legends like Zhang Yining or Ma Lin. Even Ma Long, the dragon himself, was exceptional for staying competitive at 36. So yeah, Zhu Yuling can compete for fun, for the love of the game, but realistically, her shot at medals is gone. Why not go back to Team China? That's not happening either. The Chinese table tennis system is ruthless. It's a factory of world-class talent. Every year, a new wave of teenage phenoms appear. The focus is the future, not the players in their 30s, no matter how good they were once. But Zhu Yuling doesn't care. In her own words, being able to take back on the table healthy is already a miracle. I just want to purely enjoy table tennis again. She's not here for glory. She doesn't check the rankings anymore. When asked about her ranking rise, she said she had no idea where she even stood, and it doesn't matter. And why should it? She's already been world number 1. There's nothing left to prove. Zhu Yuling is back, not chasing medals, not chasing headlines. She's back for the joy of the game, and that's more than anything is what makes her legend. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.